Go ahead and mark those calendars for Thursday, January 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time, because Xbox is coming back with their Developer Direct showcasing Doom, The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, and a secret game that they have not told us about, but let's dive into it. Doom, The Dark Ages, developed by IDE Software. We haven't got one since 2020 from Doom Eternal being the last one, of course, rebooting the series with Doom in 2016. And I haven't played these games fully through. Just the time these games came out, my gaming attitude, my gaming routine was Destiny and Madden. So, you know, I was locked into that. And I tried out with Game Pass, the Doom games, and I love the combat's fun. Having it be either your melee or your weapon kills will heal you or give you ammo. I thought that was it's a fun loop. So I'm excited to dive into a brand new one. Of course, I mean, it's going to look amazing. It just looks great in this trailer, being a couple years, 5 years now removed from the last one. Should be cool. But they're also going back in time and making it more you're going, it's like medieval, I can't say the word, more medieval, you know what I'm trying to say there. Still classic Doom stuff, but you got a shield, and it's a chainsaw shield. Just crazy shit here. The biggest thing about this, we were talking about it this past Sunday on the Download QR podcast we do over with Badlands Backlogs channel on Twitch. We were talking about this is a fall game, a spring game, and he reminded me, and we looked it up, that the last two Doom games came out earlier in the year, in spring, May and June, I believe, or April. So this one I fully expect to have an early first half of the year release date, May. I would love May. I think May is a perfect time for a Doom like this to come out, and hopefully that's what we get, is a date, some gameplay, but a date would be preferred coming out of this. But yeah, I do expect this to have that date. And the surprising thing, the trailer's running. Yeah, this is multi-platform, and I do hope that Xbox kind of clears up the air on what they're going to do going forward. But I'll save that to the end of this video. Let's talk about the next game they're going to be talking about, which is South of Midnight. Compulsion Games has shown a lot of South of Midnight in the last couple weeks. Gameplay trailers, deep dives on their socials. Very, very good. Very cool. I'm very into what this game looks like. I can't wait to play it. But because they have been giving all these behind the scenes look, it makes me feel like this game is coming out in the first half of the year, and now you're adding it to the Developer Direct. I do believe this game is a lock for spring at some point. If you remember, Xbox is trying to do every month a big Game Pass title, and if they can have that be a first party studio, they're going to lean with that, I believe. But every month is a fine cadence when they're your own studios and such. So May, April, March for this game, June. I can land anywhere within there, but I do believe this is going to come out in spring. Having watched people who got invited up to Compulsion to go test the game and preview it, their remarks are that this game looks done and it could be ready. So I do believe this might be an earlier thing. Could you imagine if it's like February, March? I don't know what else is coming out in March. Now Assassin's Creed Shadows, of course, that got delayed away from Avowed. But yeah, we'll see where this lands. I do think it's in the middle, but I'm excited to play this. It seems like, I mean, the art, the style, and the world that it's set in is trying to be as authentic as they can to this mythos and to the American South, which is just such a historically rich area, and that you can be able to pull stories and folk tales from. So I'm excited to learn more about it. Someone who grew up in Southern California, been exposed to a lot of stuff, but the South is still kind of the deep South I don't know about. So it's always good to get exposed to new cultures and different ideas, and I think South of Midnight will do that. I'm intrigued by the combat. I think we'll see a little more gameplay, but yeah, hoping for an early spring release. And now let's talk about the other game they talked about, the other game they told us they're going to talk about, which is Claire Obscura Expedition 33. Now, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is so hard to say, but this is the debut game from the studio over at Sandfall Interactive, brand new RPG. It seems to be mixing some real-time action-based combat RPG stuff with more of a not traditional, but a more turn-based system, and so kind of similar to Persona games and whatnot. Fascinating. This trailer came out and it was at the showcase in 2024 last summer for Xbox, and visually it's cool. The vibe is awesome, so I'm excited to see more of the gameplay because it being a turn-based game kind of makes me raise an eyebrow. I'm like, all right, is this going to be fully for me? I have kind of fallen in love with Persona 3, so maybe I shouldn't be worried. But they're mixing it up. There's some rhythm-based elements to it and whatnot. That's what it looks like. The cast is insane. And for being the first game from a studio, yeah, they definitely threw money at at the actors. They got a budget for the art. Very intrigued to see what this game is. Is this another first half of the year? Are we going to see this by summer? Is it spring? Yeah, I do think we're going to get dates for all these things. This was the one I have more questions about, but it does look awesome. I'm hoping this lands because the whole aesthetic they're going for is really cool. And then the number system, like the Expedition 33, that being about like that's how many expeditions has gone, if I'm remembering correctly. It's fascinating. I'm very intrigued to see more about this game, but show me more gameplay and how I'm going to be interacting with that game. I may have to be convinced about it, but you got me on story. And those are the 3 games that Xbox has told us we are going to be seeing at the Developer Direct on January 23rd. But they did tease one more game from another studio. So per the Xbox Wire blog post they posted towards the end, it says, and visit. So this is in reference to this 4th game that they're going to show, and visit a surprise location to see another studio's brand new game. Now, this could be anything. Xbox, we know, has a ton of games in their catalog ready to go. They got a bunch of studios. They bought a bunch. They've invested in a bunch, and the games just haven't been there yet. They haven't been falling for Xbox, but we're right there. I mean, this year is lining up to be insane for Xbox. Last year was solid as well. If Avowed landed last year, I feel like last year would have been a very, very solid year, but a lot of gaps for Xbox. But this year, I mean, if this is all, I mean, so far, I feel like these are all spring games with Claire Obscura. I keep saying Obscura. It's Claire Obscure. But with Expedition 33, I think that could be a summer fall game, but I just feel like all 3 of the games they talked about is spring. So what is this game? Is this another early game, or is this a game that they're showing for the first time? Is this a Fable deep dive? I don't think so. But when you visit a surprise location to see another studio's brand new game, it is a brand new game, right? Is it a new IP? Is it just a brand new game? It doesn't mean it's a new IP at all. So lots to guess, lots to assume. I saw Roundhouse Games get called out. Again, they were a studio that was Human Head. They made help with Prey 2 and Rune and a couple other games. They're messing with a lot, but they closed down, immediately reopened as Roundhouse Studios back in 2021, and they haven't been vocal about what they have doing. They are under ZeniMax Online, so they could be assisting with an Oblivion remaster, remake. They could be working with helping Elder Scrolls Online, Elder Scrolls 6, a whole new game, or is it something like for some reason we keep getting rumored a Starfield multiplayer, Starfield code altering patch that's been thrown around in the first week of this year, and rumors last year too of a multiplayer. But that was just, I mean, I said that months ago as a joke, based on what Todd Howard said. I was reading between the lines of like interviews, and it's like, you say the engine in Fallout was not built for this, but you then reference how you built Starfield from the ground up for this, but then you move on and it could be misconstrued. Do you mean that the engine was built? Like, you referenced 76 and then Starfield's engine in the same sentence, and that's why I read into it. I got all hyped, but it was a fun, I didn't think there'd be a possibility to it. Of there being Starfield multiplayer, but hey, 76 found something. I think Starfield could also find something in that space for what it is, right? If you're into it, you're into it. Just like you're into 76, you're into Fallout 76. But yeah, for that to be a possibility here is crazy. But we do have this studio Roundhouse. That could be a possibility here. Of course, we have Double Fine, Kiln. I know Jocko over at Is that right? Yeah, over at Badland Backlogs. He's mentioned Kiln so many times from Double Fine. He's a Double Fine sicko. So, and the concept of that game looks really, really cool. So we'll see. There's a lot here. Is it a big title? Is it a surprise? Here's a Banjo Kazooie remaster, day and day, stuff like that. Like it could be a whole host of things. It would be fascinating if the people, a couple people on Twitter I saw, that's why I'm mentioning Roundhouse Studios, brought them up, and it'd be interesting if like those people called their shot and got it right. That Roundhouse it does have a game here, or if it's something none of us know about. Here's hoping for Fallout DLC. I would love a Wasteland. Oh, hold on. Wasteland Workshop update, similar to what Fallout 4 had, that added a bunch of new craftable stuff and workshop materials for that game. I want that for ships in Starfield. I want the shipbuilding to be a little more like we need more parts. We need more stuff within those and more customization. And yeah, I doubt that's what this is. I really do. We just got Shattered Space. So this is probably, I'll also say a brand new game, but a surprising location. Starfield in space. Is that a surprising location? Yes. And it's a brand new game. I doubt it's that. But what do you think this secret game is? And do you plan on watching the Xbox Developer Direct on January 23rd? I can't wait to see what else they show. And I expect, outside of this fourth game, I expect 1/5 surprise. I don't know what that is, third party or just Activision games. All Call of Duties are in Game Pass. Maybe it's something like that, but I think something else will join us. Let me know your opinions on what you think we're going to see in the Developer Direct, and make sure you like the video to help the algorithm and help me stay positive. You can do it. It's for free. All right, I'm going to not force you to make me happy. See you later.